All right, we are back to New York with stories about werewolves. Werewolves who are the champions of Gaia, werewolves who fight for the protection of Mother Nature, the balance between the weaver and the wild, pushing back the corruption of the Wyrm. Be warned, dear audience, this game is rated R for mature subject matter, like everything. Because we're playing 1991, 92. We're entering at 92 now. That's how long we've gotten with this campaign, finally. So we're in newfangled territory, new year. Oh my god, it's the future already here. And what have we seen? We have seen traumatized kids. We have seen traumatized werewolves struggling with mental health and getting apparently help for it. We have seen butchery, splatter version of butchery with arms and limbs and legs and heads falling off when claws have shredded frail human bodies. We have seen frenzies. We have seen... what else?
The Magna Carta.
No, we have not seen the Magna Carta. Anyway, there's been a lot. The Hel Walker Pack is here. Who is the Hel Walker Pack?
The name is El Duende, pronouns any all, and I am playing as Jake Stromfeld, aka True Strike, the Get of Fenris Auburn.
I'm playing Paul, aka Skitters and Shadows, the Bonar Ragabash.
I'm Roger, I'm playing Miles Stormspeaker Lincoln, Last Walker Galliard, New York Bohemian, and possessor of somewhat frazzled nerves at this point.
Somewhat frazzled nerves at this point.
What, did you take 8 willpower damage?
Oh yeah, do I get to clear my superficial willpower damage since it's a new session?
Absolutely.
This thing's slightly less catastrophic.
Slightly, yeah. He's not feeling so good in turn. But you get to heal aggravated willpower damage when you spend time with your touchstones, and I'm sure you've done a lot of that lately.
Wait, hold on. I just realized something. 2 things.
2 things. Oh my god.
So, yes, I can count to 2. It's crazy. First of all, did you do that homebrew Get a Fenris stuff?
Ah! That one thing I forgot this week.
That's fine. And second of all, since the story hasn't officially begun, can I spend a quick bit of XP since the Get a Fenris stuff isn't happening?
Yeah, let's jang it. Or, you know what?
Because I have the perfect idea of what to spend it on.
But I can drum up some good Get a Fenris stuff soonish, I think. Ish. Let's see. You know what? If you want to, I can allow you to spend XP after this session, so before next session starts, and I will do my homework as I should, because I hang my head in shame. I should have done it before.
I'll just leave it for now. I'll give you another chance to work on the stuff.
There was the one thing I forgot this week. I felt so good about myself. I've done this prep and that prep, and everything is cool and awesome. And
no, it's fine, man.
And then, like,
the Alzheimer's is getting you. It happens to the best of us.
the Alzheimer's is getting to me. Absolutely. Or is it just the autism? You never know.
Little bro accidentally ate the Calbrain and got prions.
Something like that, yeah. Anyway.
Got Jakob disease.
Yes, I have Creutzfeldt Jakob disease now, clearly. Anyway, what happened last session was that you managed to intercept 2 mysterious parchments in the spirit world, and then you debated your next move. The parchments were sealed with a strange blood-like wax, and it felt dangerous. Before returning to the physical world, you decided to try to cleanse the lingering corruption of the spiritual information exchange that looks like a post office, and so on. Weave Walker began the rite of abjuration. The pack stood guard. And then horrific defiler hounds, spirits of tormented dogs with steel brush fur and glass shard teeth, attacked It was a vicious battle. The hounds attack with unnatural ferocity, and their glassy teeth inflicting grievous wounds, aggravated. True Strike, fueled by mighty rage, tore through two of the creatures, splitting them in half. Stormspeaker engaged another. The two locked in brutal struggle. Skitters, after seeing his rat companion scratch and his packmate Themis injured, shifted into his war form and ripped the hound apart with his bare claws. Despite their victory, the pack was battered and weary, and Weave Walker's attempt to cleanse the area failed, the corruption proving too strong. Low on spiritual energy, you hastily performed a ritual to step back into the physical world and emerged from a spiritual gateway into a high-tech server room, which you realized was a major telephone exchange built in Lower Manhattan. Your escape was not clean. You were spotted by a staff member, and you bolted through the hallways. A guard briefly caught Miles, but he wrestled free, and you spilled onto the streets of New York, finding yourselves outside the strange windowless skyscraper at 33 Thomas Street. A very weavery place, which apparently holds a wormy secret in the basement. Seeking refuge, you made your way to your cairn in Central Park. A brief rest and tending your wounds, you presented the sealed parchments to Mother Larissa, thereby actually breaking the chronicle tenets, because your chronicle tenets is to rebel against the litany because the old ways aren't working anymore. But you showed respect to your elder. She cleansed the letters from the spiritual taint and then revealed their contents. Apparently correspondence between two members of a previously unknown faction of the Wyrm, calling themselves the Seventh Generation. They spoke of a subtle generational corruption of mortals and internal conflict about their methods. You now have a new insidious enemy to investigate, with your only leads being the security company from a previous encounter, the cryptic names mentioned in the letters, and of course, who knows, this was a speculation from True Strike, that Morningside Rehabilitation Institute that you raided a while back. Also a potential lead. And we're going to do a time skip of a couple of months and find ourselves in February of 1992 in New York. And I do want you to decide what you're going to do with this new information during this time skip period. Because I have a feeling you can do something.
I'm definitely going to try to investigate that company because I have a lead on them on Liberty Island. So I'm definitely going to go out there and check that out.
Yeah, that's another company entirely, isn't it?
No, I thought that was the security company.
Oh, it's a
That was
security
the same-
company that, yes, it's a security company
Yeah.
that worked at the Morningside Rehabilitation Institute, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
What might True Strike and Stormspeaker be doing during this time?
True Strike will definitely also be doing his best to help Skitters investigate to the best of his ability.
Yeah, I was thinking one thing we could do if we wanted to go that way is all go into Glabro form and try and get jobs at the security company.
That is
Yeah,
a possibility.
Miles will track down the psychologist who kept making complaints against the guy who was running the Morningside Institute, and finally track her down and see what she had to say about what was wrong there. We basically know what was wrong there, but any subtle detail that an insider psychologist may be able to share about exactly what they were doing wrong.
Very well. Yeah, there's gonna be things happening here. And before you even... the first thing that happens, because we're talking here about... You came back to New York, you were finished with your discovery of these letters literally before Christmas Day. Like, it was Christmas Eve when you were done. So, I'm guessing there's going to be some Christmas celebrations with... Whoever you celebrate Christmas with is... No, it's I think the only person here... Weave Walker has a family... And Themis has a family, so they have someone to celebrate with. But the rest of you all don't have families, do you?
Wait, what? I'm practically married.
Fair enough. Okay, you have a partner. This is true. I was thinking about parents or kids.
Oh,
or
yeah,
that
he's
sort
an
of thing.
orphan. Did you read his background? He
I
literally...
know.
He's an orphan, yeah.
That's what I'm
So-
saying. That you don't
Miles
have
with parents live in Queens.
you don't have Skitters doesn't have parents to go home and give Christmas gifts to.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I actually have a brilliant idea for. Never mind.
And True Strike doesn't even have anyone around here.
It's pretty much just Lester.
So my question
also
quite
the
simply
other-
is, how are you all celebrating Christmas? We know that the whole city is decorated for the season, and the Christmas movies are in the cinemas and all that stuff.
Skitters and Jane spend Christmas doing what they usually do, robbing the houses of people who've gone to the Hamptons for Christmas.
That's the best way of celebrating. Just robbing them blind. Yes.
I do have a wacky idea for what Jake does. Maybe
Okay.
maybe Lester and him share a bottle, maybe in an alleyway or something like that.
Absolutely.
And Jake gets a little bit too drunk, and maybe he just says some things that are maybe a little bit too close to the truth.
You're both very drunk, and Lester's also drunk, and Lester is maybe not taking it super seriously, as it were.
Like nothing along the lines of "I am a werewolf," but definitely some shit that, if he remembers it, is going to sound super fucking sus. I've seen and fought and killed demons, or something like that.
Man, you need some help, man. Wits and insight. Let's go. He's 2 successes on wits and insight, so he's gonna be like, we're all struggling with our demons, man. If you look too far into that bottle, it's gonna take you, man. The demon's gonna take you. But rehab and shit ain't for us, is it? We ain't got no dough, so we ain't got no rehab.
No, I ain't talking about alcohol, but actual demons.
Yeah, I know. When you've been on a binge for 6 months straight and you try to quit it, and the little buggers come up your legs and you can see them clear as fucking. I hate that, man.
Yeah, I hate it too.
You know
I'm
what
glad
the
to,
key is? You know what the key
talk.
is?
What?
Don't get fucking sober, man.
Thanks, Lester.
Very helpful. The Christmas movie for 1991 is Hook. The one with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman.
And
I remember the film well.
And the
Julia
one thing I
Roberts.
always remember about that film is, first of all, that one kid getting murdered. That's the one thing I remember.
I
The
can't
other
even-
thing I remember is that cotton candy crap they eat at that one scene. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that movie at all.
I remember it vividly. Those 2 scenes are just locked in my head forever. That one kid just getting stabbed to death.
Did Home Alone come out? Was that 1990?
Yeah, that was last year.
Home Alone. That was last year's. So it came out in that was Christmas of 1990 exactly.
Yeah. I remember... No, it wasn't for that film. It was Aladdin and Mrs. Doubtfire. We didn't go to the cinema often. And that was one of the first time we went. And my brother and I, my mom, went to going. The time we were there, it was all gone. He was so pissed.
It was a big year for movies, 91. You had Home Alone in January. You had The Silence of the Lambs in spring. You had Backdraft, which all firefighters loved, in early summer. And then you had Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which was ultimately...
Some of the last years of original films being made.
I don't know about
Robin
Hood
Hood Prince of
being...
Thieves was probably the 50th Robin Hood film made.
Yeah,
That's the lowest.
it was not very...
I
But it
wasn't talking
did
about
have...
Robin Hood, I was talking about movies in general, motherfucker.
But it did have Alan Rickman as the sheriff, and he
Oh,
just
yeah.
hammed
And,
it up.
oh, Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, that's actually talking about not going to the cinema often. That's actually the first film. Either that or Ghostbusters 2. I can't remember which came first, but
And then
one
there
of them was
was-
the very first time I went to the cinema.
Then there was Terminator 2, which was the big summer blockbuster, obviously. And then there was Hot Shots, which was the spoof movie with Charlie Sheen. And yeah, Hook, but Hook wasn't really big. It was big enough
Look,
for.
fucking awesome though. Don't you dare disrespect my goat though. Okay. I don't care if it's not popular or whatever. You disrespect my goat, I will kill you.
November had The Addams Family, which was the movie with Angelica Houston.
And Christina
Also
Ricci.
my goat.
Yeah, Christina Ricci with that. Yeah. So yeah, the top grossing movie of the year was Terminator 2. So you know James Cameron is already just raking it in, basically.
I think that everything after Terminator 2 and the Terminator franchise is dog shit. Everything else after that was a mistake. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except that real
Same.
shooter. The one real shooter.
There's like a theme with Terminator.
Well, all you need is the first two films.
For real.
Terminator, Alien, and Predator all have gone the same way, haven't they?
Except Aliens, they have made some banger ass video games.
Yeah. Though I will say that I didn't like Alien Isolation after a while because I realized what they were doing, and that just crushed my suspension of disbelief completely.
I wasn't talking about Alien Isolation. I was talking about this one Aliens game where it's like a team-based like stealth game, and it's fucking awesome.
Isn't that the Alien Isolation?
Okay,
Anyway,
but how do you that's where of
Alien 3 on the Mega Drive had one of the most sinister growls ever. As the level was loading, you heard the alien growl, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, sorry everyone that we're being like the grapes from like that one South Park episode where like, remember Star Wars? Sorry.
no,
Yeah, we'll
I
have to move
don't.
on now. Yeah, fuck all of you.
Okay, so we spent Christmas, great, and does anything like we can-
Yes. Something interesting is going to happen after New Year's. I don't know if any of you go down to Times Square to see the ball drop, because that is what you do in New York. on
sounds
New Year's.
bougie to me.
That is, yeah. So I guess this Hel Walkers is the closest thing to an all Bone pack that you can have in New York without actually having an all Bone pack. We have registered this really hard, haven't we? But there is actually going to be in early January, and who's going to... Because you're doing your research into the security company.
New York City turns everyone into a bonar after a while.
Either that or a glasswalker, I would say. If you're a yuppie, if you are down in Wall Street, you're definitely not a bonar.
Yeah, no. There's basically two options. It happens to everyone, regardless of tribe.
And then there's the old money people, like the Silver Fangs. But they are not... There's not many of those in New York.
Staten Island's barely even a part of New York City. It's its own
At this
bullshit.
point, yeah. We're gonna do investigations, aren't we? Let's see who's doing what kind of investigation. Who's best at investigation in this pack? Let's see. Miranda has a lot of investigation chops, like 7 dice of it. So if people are helping her, because the rest
I
of you
guess
all can't
it will help,
investigate
but,
for anything.
Okay.
Okay.
But like, I was thinking that I could, if the whatchamacallit, if the guys have an office there on a thing, that I could break into it.
The MPI folks, the security,
Yeah, if they have an office on Liberty Island, I could break into it.
they do not have an office at Liberty Island. They have a gig at Liberty Island. That's a different thing.
I guess I could accidentally bump against a guy there and rob some keys or something.
You could, absolutely. What do we want to do with these keys?
Just have them for future breaking in purposes.
Okay. Those keys are going to go to the locker room for the security detail at Liberty Island.
Oh, if they're for here, then I go in there and see what's up in there.
Okay. True strike?
Yep. I guess I'll help Miranda out, yeah?
You can't. You don't have the skill in it, so not
Oh.
much help from you. You don't have any investigation to speak of. She's gonna have to do her own work on this. She's the only one in the group with investigation, if you can believe it.
This group would be so cooked if Miranda dies.
Well,
That can be arranged. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah?
we only have skills, like, I make a point of only taking skills my character would reasonably have, even if it makes my gifts bad or my powers bad for a vampire.
Mm.
Because I think that's the way the character is built.
Yeah, you don't want to do metagaming.
Storm Speaker, are you doing anything interesting during this time? While Skitters is infiltrating
to
the
help
island?
with their part of the investigation or to do my thing?
Right. What would your thing be, specifically?
To track down the psychiatrist.
To track down the psychiatrist. Indeed, yes. To do that requires investigation, of which you have nothing. It's okay. So we're gonna have to put Weave Walker on investigating something. What do you want her to be investigating during this time period? Because she can't investigate everything at once. Do you want her to track down the psychiatrist, or do you want her to track down something else?
I was thinking the psychiatrist will probably be the best use of time because we have no other leads on her. We can do other stuff with the security company.
Very well. Okay, Skitters, your little foray into Liberty Island is definitely gonna pay, well, I don't know how much dividends you would consider it. You will have, let's see now, there's gonna be a file cabinet, stuff pinned to cork boards. You'll find a media incident response binder, which has boilerplate scripts for guards on what to say if reporters ask questions. There will be contact sheet with key numbers higher up in the organization, including pager numbers and like a bridge line. Interestingly enough, this security company, which is called... Why do I always have to come up with a name for it?
Cerberus.
Meridian Protective and Investigations. There we go. Meridian. It is contracting with MTCS, the very phone company that you were coming out through the gates of. There's so many shell companies here that are working with, so many various companies that are working with each other, clearly. There is, what is else going on here? A radio frequency sheet that allows you to...
I'll definitely take that for Miles to look at.
Yeah, supervisors would use it. Sign-out sheets, uniform patches, spare badges, spare uniforms you can find in the locker room, of course.
I'll take 5 of them, or as many of them as I can.
Yeah, you in a duffel bag. Given how sneaky you are and given your gifts, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Woo!
And get them in our Glabro sizes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maintenance cargo shipments. It's like a torn receipt. Regulars. So apparently there's shipments going out there, but that is reasonable because these guys gotta eat at work too, right? They have a coffee machine.
Do I find anything that indicates where this security company is based, like where their head office is?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'll take note of that too.
It's also Manhattan, not very surprisingly.
Like, Manhattan is a big island.
It is a big island, yes. It is a big island.
Where in Manhattan? You don't know.
I'm gonna say Midtown.
Okay. Well, I know where it is anyway. Great.
Yes. Weave Walker is doing her research into the psychiatrist you want to find, Storm Speaker. And as she does this, she is going to call, I think, everyone and just go, "You're never gonna believe this. You have to put on the TV right now." And I'm taping it. And
Since my character is homeless, Jake asked her to elaborate over the phone.
the
I
guy,
don't have-
Draggerunter, he's on freaking TV.
What?
Holy shit.
Oh, I'm turning on the telly.
And there he is. On TV.
Like a slightly older Sean Connery.
Maybe, yeah.
Gunter.
Yeah, so I guess Jake will rush to wherever Miranda is, her place.
You're gonna miss parts of this,
Would we?
obviously, but
Oh yeah, obviously. I guess we're gonna say that Miranda fills me in on what I missed.
But you'll hear she popped a VHS into the recorder and just started recording immediately. Because obviously she did. Maybe Optinode started it for her even. And this is an interview between WNYC 5 News live from Midtown Manhattan and senior correspondent Dana Hart, who is outside the Midtown offices of the Association of Responsible Psychiatry, ARP. I'm here with Dr. Gunter Draggerunter, chair of the Association of Responsible Psychiatry, an organization that's come under criticism from some patient advocates and attorneys who say it exists to shield psychiatrists from malpractice and silence victims. Doctor, thank you for joining us. Of course, I'm happy to bring a little clarity to a very overheated conversation. Let's start with a specific allegation. Several former patients and families claim that doctors, some of them members of ARP, used coercive treatment, inappropriate medication, and questionable confinement practices. They say complaints disappear, and when they go public, they're treated as unreliable. What do you say to them? I say this. Medicine is not a stage play. It is difficult work performed in imperfect conditions. And the first casualty very often is nuance. People want a villain. The truth is usually paperwork, miscommunication, tragedy, but without malice or intention. That doesn't make it less painful, of course. Mental health is inherently a painful topic, but it does make it different from the story your viewers are being sold. By who? By an industry that's grown around litigation. You must have noticed that the lawyers pursuing this litigation are making good coin based on the pain of these relatives.
Wait, can I ask something?
Yeah?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to try to do this while you're talking. Can we identify where he is?
Yeah, classic blame it on the mean old lawyer.
Can we identify where he is?
Somewhere in... He said they were outside the offices of the Association for Responsible Psychiatry.
Okay, this interview is going on if Skitters is running there. So he can see where he goes next.
Very well. Well, by people who benefit from turning every bad outcome into an accusation, and by, if we're being frank, sensationalist media. Doctor, you're on the news right now. Yes, and I'm trying to keep your audience from being frightened into believing that the mental health system is a predator. If you tell good clinicians that any difficult case can become a public trial, they leave, and then the people who need care most are left with no one. Some critics say that's a false choice. They point to your press campaigns, your TV appearances, op-eds, panels, where you argue that many malpractice claims are driven by false recollections and social contagion. Are you saying patients are lying? No. No, I'm saying memory is not a tape recorder and never has been. Under stress, under suggestion, under the pressure of therapy conducted without proper standards, people can become very confident about things that did not happen as they recall. That is not a moral judgment, that is neuroscience. Yet many of these people have medical records, dates, restraint logs, medication changes, injuries, and all this should be investigated properly through the correct channels. Lawsuit is not a medical review. A press conference is not a diagnosis. A furious crowd is not due process. And so it goes on.
And considering Skitters is pretty fast, he's got like athletics and dexterity up to. Can he get there before the interview ends?
He'd probably have to move with light speed to get there that fast. But don't know if that's going to matter that much because the offices are listed in the
It's
phone
not
book.
happening for plot reasons.
No, the offices are listed in the phone book.
No, but if I could get at the end of the audience at the thing and shout at him, "You killed my dad" or something, just to aggravate him.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. It's not that long an interview.
Damn.
New York is a big place. Going from Brooklyn to Manhattan can take an hour easily. So
Yeah, New York.
heck, going from one side of Manhattan to another can take an hour. So it's a big place.
It's a city of 8 million people, dog.
You have to
ain't-
roll.
Yes, I accept
They can allow you to roll a d10. If you roll a 10, you're close enough to get there.
Like it's only really for like just to piss him off.
I
I
bet.
thought it.
Ragabash behavior, you mean?
Yeah, I want Ragabash's favor to get there and shout at him,
Very coded, yes.
or like egg him or egg his car or something like that, just to see him on him.
Drop kick the old man. He's a
No,
homoid.
that would be assault. Just do something.
Drop kick him, sire. Sire.
No, I don't get there. I
You're
get
not even
caught
broke.
perfect.
You're in fucking Brooklyn. You're.
You just fell down one of those holes that has steam coming out of it.
Exactly.
So now you have 3 organizations to look for. The ARP, the Association for Responsible Psychiatry, the MTCS, which is the telecom company, Meridian, and Morningside. 3 of them
that's
start
4.
with an M.
Okay. Since I'm going to be in that area anyway, I'll.
Morningside. That kind of reminds me of Morning Star a little bit. I don't know.
Anyway,
Seems relevant. Also, I already hate this doctor. I already hate him. The classic lawyers are the devil shit pisses me off so much.
which what?
The classic lawyers are the devil line, I really hate that one.
Oh,
So I can't wait to tear apart this guy when we inevitably find out he's working for the 7th generation or some shit.
Okay.
Gunter Draggerunter is literally the name on the
Yeah, he
first
literally
message.
is, yeah, I can't wait
So
to get his ass.
Apparently, he calls himself the Gedrak of the medical case.
Yeah.
So he's not just working for the 7th generation. He has a rank within something called the medical case.
The medical case. Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Uh,
But
okay.
it tracks with psychiatry, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'm going to try to do some slight social engineering at the. Since I'm there, since I said I was going there, I'll just do a quick scout just so I can report to everybody else. I'll wash my face and like change into a suit and go in to the secretary. Or the receptionist even.
Very well. Yeah, the receptionist. I have all my notes. Where are all my notes? Hi, all
And
notes.
Oblivion. Sorry.
In Oblivion. They're gone now.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry. Alessandra came in and he sent everything to Oblivion. I tried to stop him, Michaela. I really did. But I overpowered me. Too many tentacles. God. Horrible thing.
All right. You will get to the actual offices. And let me describe them, shall I?
Sure, but don't go Yeah, describe them.
It's a respectable midtown professional suite that screams standards, calm, and credibility. It's a place designed to control access and so on. You step off the elevator into a quiet carpeted hallway with smoked glass doors and understated brass lettering. It's a small plaque, like the Association for Responsible Psychiatry. You would miss it if you weren't specifically looking for this place. The reception area is beige on beige 1991 corporate style. Low upholstered chairs that are clean but a little bit sagged. A glass coffee table with Time magazine and the New England Journal of Medicine placed there. There's a framed print of an abstract coastline and a fake plant that doesn't have dust. And there's a soft, constant hum from somewhere. HVAC electronics, the internal ventilation system. And coffee. Very office coded, all of this. There's a reception desk with half a wall of shelving with neatly stacked folders and clipboards and some binders with words like compliance, membership, training, media. The receptionist can't see the elevator and the hallway without standing up. The phone has more lines than a normal office phone. There is a small sign-in logbook with a pen on a chain. And just above the desk, placard that looks like a fire safety notice. But it actually says visitors must be escorted at all times. And that's basically what you can see from the outside as you come in to the reception. And of course, you are Skitters in shadows, who looks like a Bongnor.
Wait, I specifically said I was changing my clothes and washing my face before I went in.
Okay, so what are you looking like now?
I'm looking like like a dude, like a possibly like a private investigator or something.
Like a dude? You have
like a private investigator, like a professional.
So you have some kind of saggy suit that you stole from some place, and a trench coat, and
fedora, whatever.
The difficulty here for you is, of course, your youth. Like, how old do you look like? You look like a high schooler, don't you?
No, he looks like he's in his mid-20s.
Okay, so a young career person. There we go.
Yeah.
Hardly the grizzled old graybeard.
Everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah, everybody has to start somewhere. The receptionist, she has a big hair, heavy eyeliner, and is chewing gum, of course. And she is working on a keyboard. She has a computer, and she will look up, and you are not looking like you are a dreamboat. So she's just gonna look up at you and, hello there, sir. What can I do for you?
I'm a private investigator working for the family of... What was the name of that doctor? Sorry, I had it written down, but it's fucking gone now. You know, that doctor who was working in the Morningside Institute.
Oh, yeah, that one. That was... Where did it go? There. No. Gee. Where did I put that? No. Really? There we go. That's where I put it.
This is an interesting
Valerie Hume. Dr. Hume. Dr. Hume. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm investigating the death of Dr. Hume on part of her family. They don't believe that the story of her having her suddenly heart attack is true. And I understand she was a member of this organization and a colleague of Dr. And I looked for my notes. Draggerunter's. Is that a German name? I was wondering, could I possibly make an appointment with him?
Certainly. I can see if he might be able to see you, she says. Let's see now. What's your name? Do you have a business card? He's a very busy person,
my name...
I understand.
I brought the wrong jacket today. I left my cards and my wallet at the thing. My name is... One second. Maybe I'll write down my name for you.
Please do. How good are you at persuasion stuff. Charisma persuasion, let's roll.
Wait, my name is Elisha Otis.
Elisha Otis. And
Yeah.
we're gonna make this... it's gonna be very hard, isn't it?
Why?
Yeah.
That's not a... Like, Skitters is used to lying about his name. Maybe his
Yes,
name is
yes, he
Elisha
is.
Otis.
Yes, he is. I'm not saying it's because he's unused to it. It's more because of the access issue. So, yeah. Charisma persuasion, let's go. No, subterfuge, because you're lying.
Okay, Charisma Subterfuge. Just
Yes, please.
that, and I'll write down, like, a number. The number of my hideout.
Yeah, okay.
What the hell?
Did you write down the number of your hideout?
Yeah, that's where my phone is.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Oh
the phone
my-
number to your hideout. Yep.
Oh,
gotcha.
all right then.
Something weird happened and it just disappeared. Give me a second. I didn't press close, but it disappeared anyway.
What disappeared?
Foundry.
Why would that disappear?
I have no idea. Because all I did was I looked up the guy who invented elevators, and then the Foundry had disappeared when I looked back. Skitters should actually get, if he's going to be pretending to be a private investigator, he should get business cards made.
Yeah, you should definitely get business cards made.
So Charisma Subterfuge.
Oh, I suppose you
Yes.
could just show them some of that ID you stole from the security company we're investigating. No way, the connector, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I may reveal everything.
I wish there was a Radagash gift that helped you with lying.
There are various gifts but that tends to be for Gaillard. 'Cause they are the talkers.
But what if there's sneaky boys and tricksters? Tricksters and sneaky boys lie all the time.
Yeah, they do. 3 successes is in this case gonna carry you a little bit on the way, but not quite enough, probably. Very well. Unfortunately, let's see. He doesn't have any time this week. Can you make February? Let's see. February. Let me have a look at the calendar here. February the 26th, perhaps. Can you make that date?
What date's today, Miguel?
It's gonna be the first week in January, probably.
That's a bit too far away. This is a rather pressing matter.
I
Like,
understand that
I
you're-
work late hours, so if he's willing to meet me at his home or meet me at during lunch, that would be acceptable.
I'm sure it's
it-
acceptable to you.
Or like after hours, in the morning, I'll carve out time for him. Like, I'll meet him at an unusual time if he can push me in definitely before the end of January, because her family are really anxious to get, and I need to talk to Dr. Draggerunter's to tie up some leads I have.
I see,
And-
yes. I'm afraid Dr. Draggerunter is a very busy man. Perhaps there might be someone else you could speak to. I could direct you to Mr.
Do you know?
Vincent
Oh wait, there is
Klein.
another name I've come across. Is there Coco Allo working here?
No, I'm afraid I don't recognize
Oh.
that name.
Okay, so who could you arrange a meeting with me with here?
Well, let's see here. Why don't we look at the schedule you are talking about? Why don't we look for Mr. Klein's schedule? He should be able to meet with you. He is our counsel. He will be able to answer all your questions in this regard.
Okay. Okay, and when would I be able to meet him?
how about, let's see now, we are now in the first week of January, of course. She says, what say you about January 16th?
2 weeks, yeah, that's acceptable. Obviously, I'll have probably more questions for him by then. Thank you
Of course.
for your help. You've been an absolute star.
Thank you.
You should tell your boss you should get a raise.
I certainly will, sir.
I guess I'll leave. That's another lead to look up this guy Klein. I'll go back to everybody and...
Yep. You know what's going to happen that is probably not going to surprise you at all? He's going to call on your number after about a week and say that he has to reschedule for 2 weeks later.
If that's going to happen... Well, okay.
Welcome to the enemy of the warriors of Gaia, bureaucracy.
This is why you answered bureaucracy during that quiz, or whatever the fuck it was, riddle.
So I guess I'll meet up and with the others and tell them about this guy Klein whose name I managed to get.
Vincent Klein.
Okay, and does anybody want... Stormspeaker was talking about investigating that psychiatrist. Do we know anything about him?
Oh, yeah, her.
Or even the one who's protesting?
Oh, yes. So, yes, you will find a name, Dr. Cassandra Morante. She was apparently, and this is from Hel Walker now, she was apparently a rising star, if you will, trauma-focused psychiatrist in the late 1980s, and worked for Morningside Rehab Institute for a while, but she tried to blow the whistle on apparent malpractice there and got sued to Kingdom Come. And she was in the litigation framed as unstable, ideologically motivated, and contaminated by the patient narratives she defended. And so her hospital privileges were yanked pending review, her referrals dried up, a malpractice suit appeared to force her into settlement, and a licensing complaint followed. So... at this stage, she has no actual spot on her record because she was cleared of everything in court, but her reputation has been shot, so she works in community clinics and shelters and pro bono consults, and that's basically it.
If we could find a place for her in... Well... in the right situation.
In the right situation, yes, indeed. But during this downtime, you will definitely be able to look her up and get in touch with her if you need to, if you want to.
I believe that was Roger. This is your lead, so you're in charge of what we do with it.
And also, as soon as we heard this latest news from the security company and from the ARP, Miles will call up the senior guy in the Glass Walkers and just ask if they're aware of any of these new names we've got, like about the legal actions against the ARP and against Meridian, anything to do with Meridian Telecom, and anything else they may have heard that we now know about. I guess since they already told us about the security company and Morningside, there won't be anything extra they'll know about that. But any of the new names, if that rings any bells from, I'll just set those wheels turning.
Yeah, in short, no idea of nothing. All of these names are new to the Glasswalkers. They have not heard of any of this stuff. None of it is Pentix affiliated, for example, as far as we know. That we know of.
And Miles, you want to go and talk to this psychiatrist? Maybe she knows more than her record says.
Yeah, I will do that. But I was thinking as well, since Miles has got his radio show, he could start talking about this as well, just to see if he start taking calls as well, see if any of his listeners have stories about this. And that'll do two things. That won't get us any more stories about people, places, stuff that's going on. Also, then when he goes to talk to the psychiatrist, he'll have the extra credibility that he's connected to this and he's not just some random person asking questions. So can I do just a single roll to see how a radio appeal goes? This will just leverage what Miles is really good at. Maybe persuasion.
Yeah,
Charisma.
Weave Walker, if you're presenting this as a strategy to the pack, Weave Walker will point out that if Dr. Morante was sued to Kingdom Come for malpractice and whatnot, and you start speaking out about things, you'd have to be careful because otherwise they will slap a libel lawsuit on you. And that could shut down your work for a while because you need to have a broadcasting license, and that can be pulled if you're found liable for libels.
Isn't your operation already Gorilla?
That's fair.
Doesn't really matter.
But then, you as long as you know that there are legal ramifications, you can still be held personally. The lawsuit can be directed against your person. Miles can be brought into a civil lawsuit for libel, and so on. Again, the Wyrm has ways.
The octopus has
many tentacles, and lawfare is one of them. You know what? I'm going to let you think a little bit on that and how you're going to deal with this, because clearly you have uncovered a bit of an octopus here, right? In this 7th generation. Tentacles everywhere. At least 3 different companies, none of which the Glasswalkers have ever kept track of because they've been keeping their eyes peeled specifically on Pentex all the time. # target fixation. So these guys in the 7th generation have just snuck under the radar of the entire Garou nation until now, apparently. And this is from an organization involving a dude who goes on actual TV and does... Once you found that first time with his interview, you will be... Like, Weave Walker, she is your resident research geek after all, will find a lot... He does all sorts of press stuff on all sorts of channels and in newspapers and whatnot. It's like he's a walking press representative for this ARP doing the press tour. It's not the best press tour ever. Storm Speaker, you being in the media after all. Why don't we do this one? This has never happened before, so it's going to be a fun new combination. Intelligence performance, please, as you are evaluating his performance.
By the way, I have a quick question.
Yeah?
If Storm Speaker were to survive to, the podcast era, would he start a podcast?
Probably. He'd be like one of the first podcasters because he's a glasswalker.
Yeah, exactly.
3 successes.
Would you let me in on the podcast occasionally as a guest? I'll take it as a no.
What would
Fair.
you be discussing?
I don't know, podcast shit.
The actual part of the concept of what Miles having the Winnebago on the radio show actually came from a series called The Intruders with John Sim about a subtle alien invasion. And in the first episode, there's this conspiracy theorist who runs a podcast out of his Winnebago. And it's into all the weird stuff like electronic voice phenomenon. That series went down pretty quickly after the first episode, so I stopped watching it.
The elites got him. Clearly, that's what happened.
That is
The
definitely
aliens
what
got him.
happened. Your impression of him is that he is a bit blunt. He is not someone who is good at creating, shall we say, trust between the interviewer and the interviewee. When he's talking to people, like, he picks people apart very effectively in interviews in a very aggressive manner. And when you look at face value of the statements he's putting out there, they seem reasonable enough. But there's
But in
also
reality,
what was that?
But in reality, they're just a bunch of nothing burgers.
When you think about it afterwards, perhaps they are. And also, he's someone who is a bit too much bull in a china store for the media climate of today. What you want is someone who's friendly and jovial and effusive and takes people in, and yeah, he's one of my group, one of my boys and stuff. And Draggerunter is not that. He is
He's
aloof.
acting like a 2020s podcaster in the 90s, which is a mistake.
I think he's acting like a 1970s clinician in the 90s, which is also a mistake. This routine that he's pulling would have worked amazingly in the 1970s, when you still had, oh, he's a doctor, he must be amazing. But the 1990s is more of a cynical decade, and some of the journalists are, yeah, or maybe he would have pulled it off in the 1950s. Let's put him there, okay? So he has a 1950s persona for the 1990s. It works as long as his arguments... It works better on radio than on TV, let's say.
Can I ask a question?
Also, like, it only really works on people who don't push back.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it works on people who don't push back.
Don't. Or don't.
It works on people who don't push back, absolutely.
Yeah. But really, it turns out you can just say whatever the fuck you want if the journalist is a bitch.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, okay, so this guy, has he ever given an interview in front of his house?
In front of what? In front of his own house? No.
Yeah.
No. Okay. But in front of the offices, absolutely. And in TV studios. He comes to the TV studios as well.
Okay. If we look this guy up in the phone book, can we find him?
You can find only the name associated with the association in question, but not his home address or anything like that.
Okay. Can I...
Do we do like an investigation search to find his own address?
I was gonna say, yeah. Can I like wait outside his offices,
Stalk him?
and stalk him back to his gaff?
Could I help him do that?
Potentially.
Wait. Okay. Let's try that.
Maybe Monolith and Miranda do some searching of their own.
You know what? You don't know how he gets to his office or back again. That's what's going to come out of that.
I don't, but I guess I could wait outside and see.
Oh yeah, you can. It's going to be an exercise in frustration. In short, this is about as far as we're going to take this investigation for now, because you are being called from Wyoming.
Oh no, Wyoming! I'm going homing.
Oh yes, the Valkenburg Foundation. You haven't forgotten about Valkenburg, have you, questing pack?
Of course not.
No, not at
We've
all.
got things. Yeah.
I'm guessing Miranda gets a call.
Yeah, whoever is making the call, getting the call, apparently they want you out there. It's Moonbridge time.
Okay, have we adjusted Miles?
Oh, by the way, I forgot. At the start of a story, you get 2 rage points, right?
I think it's 1.
1 rage point. So, wait, okay, so you have 2 rage overall?
No, you have 1 rage overall, don't you?
Okay, never mind then. All right then, just making sure.
Yeah, you communicate directly, and it's gonna be Gretchen who's calling you guys. You remember Gretchen?
Yep, Gretchen.
She's calling
The Garou.
Weave Walker, so I guess Weave Walker is the one who is gonna communicate the message to you guys. Alright, Pack. As much as we like to track down worm creatures here in New York, we're needed in Wyoming as the questing pack.
Okay. Have we adjusted? Have we upgraded Miles's Winnebago so we can take it through the Moonbridge? Because remember that was the plan the last time.
No, you have not.
Okay, I guess we'll have to walk through the Moonbridge.
Yes.
Are you okay with leaving your RV behind, Miles?
Yeah, after nearly losing the RV once, he's not in any great hurry to put it in danger anymore.
Okay, let's go through the Moonbridge. So.
Very well.
Oh, just while I remember, back when we were doing the Morningside investigation, another part of that was there was some other facility that was just like Umbral blackout. It didn't show up in the Umbra. Did we ever know exactly where that was, or was that part of the... If we pulled that thread to figure out exactly where it was?
Which one again?
I can't remember which truck, but sorry.
There was one around the time we were doing Morningside. And one of the things we were put onto was some sort of mental health facility that was just like a black hole in the... You couldn't see anything in it. Or was that Morningside?
I recall that was Morningside, wasn't it?
Anyway,
It could have been, but I didn't remember if that was a separate thing that was another thread we could pull on.
I can't remember what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't recall either.
Oh, this is nice. I got the cup I got from Mississippi.
So, are we going through the Moonbridge or not?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Today is Friday, February 14th, 1992. Valentine's Day was just yesterday, wasn't it? Or, no, it's today, isn't it? When is Valentine's? Is it 14th? Yes, it's 14th. Oh man, you're being called away on Valentine's Day. Skitters. There's gonna be one grumpy girlfriend.
Hey.
What?
We
Hey.
spent... What?
Don't you hate me. It's Valentine's Day. We're going on a
it's
date.
Good working night. Couples are out, and I can break into their houses and take stuff. It's one of my business nights of the year. We could be romantic on March the 15th. That's White Day in America, in Japan. That's a White Day in Japan.
Okay, she'll accept that. Okay, whoever steals the most wins.
Okay.
It's a competition now. She's gonna win because you ain't stealing shit.
I might. We'll see. I didn't see landing the last time I was in Wyoming because Miranda was saying we were in a rush, but this time I have time. I'm gonna rob some rancher this time.
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
And then she's gonna be like, "How the fuck did you even get that? We're in New York City. What the hell do you have longhorn horns?"
Oh dear. Long story short, what am I doing? How am I doing things? And why am I doing it? Nobody knows, including me. So don't ask any questions. Long story short, you are actually here not so much to speak to Gretchen as you are to speak to Kayla, the chief veterinarian. She's also a child of Gaia, as it turns out.
Yeah, I remember her. She wouldn't let me talk to the
That's right.
thing. She was the one who said she had veterinarian patient cough and that.
Yeah, that classic line. That was. Yeah. So I guess when I see her, I say, "Hey, Doc."
Hello there, she says. In wolfish, I guess, because she is in fact in Lupus form.
Yep, lupus to lupus communication here.
Indeed. She is a beautiful grey wolf, indeed.
Meanwhile, Jake's some filthy-ass mongrel.
Yes, he is. Maybe this might be true. And welcome, questing pack. Welcome back. It's been a while, hasn't it? I hope that Gaia has treated you well.
Yeah.
Good, she says. It's one of these really awkward meetings where you don't know each other very well, but you have to work together anyway.
Yeah. It's a real shame because you seem like good people. And that due to the nature of our work, we can't really know our coworkers that well.
What happens?
It is what it is.
Indeed. Yeah, she's not abrasive in any way. Except to Skitters, because Skitters was... Anyway.
Forceful, as you would put it.
Perhaps.
In your dirty Irish tongue.
Sorry,
Hey,
saying that
it's
out
almost St.
loud.
Patrick's Day. You're being racist to me, and then
I'm sorry, the Angloid took over, okay?
The Angloid took over.
this weekend of all weekends.
El Duende did an El Duende. Is it St. Patrick's now?
It is. It's Tuesday.
Oh,
Oh.
shit, it happened on
Wow.
Tuesday, shit.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question for all now.
Or
Okay.
Wednesday, maybe. Can't remember.
All right, so let's say it's St. Patrick's Day right now. Do you think having green eyes counts as wearing green on St. Patrick's Day?
I've never heard that you needed to wear green. As an Irish person, I have never
It's
worn
an American
green
thing.
ever.
It's an American thing. On St. Patrick's Day, you have to wear green, or you can give. It's a thing on.
Canada
American
does
St.
it
Patrick's
too.
Day.
Canada does it too.
Yeah.
If you go to
That's
Nova
what I mean.
Scotia,
American.
if you go to
No,
Nova Scotia, so
it's
many
like-
Irish.
Yeah, you're nicer, America.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, do green eyes count as wearing green?
I don't know. That's a question between you and God.
That is the worst response I've heard to that question yet, I think.
Anyway, Kayla will lie down. She's outside. Or is she under a roof at this point? Let's face it. It's winter now, isn't it? So, it's not gonna be the nicest weather. You're coming from New York, where it's a humid cold, but it's also tempered slightly by the Gulf Stream coming up from the Caribbean. On the other hand, Wyoming is inland. It's basically Oklahoma, but further north, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma, but cold.
Oklahoma, but much colder. So, yeah, highs will be around maybe 2 degrees Celsius. That's 35 Fahrenheit. -9 to 2 degrees Celsius. That's 15 to 35 Fahrenheit. And lows will be -5 to 15 Fahrenheit, or -21 to -9 Celsius.
Whatever. Good thing Jake is a New Yorker, so he's fine.
Yeah,
Oh my
he's
God.
fine. But it's cold. Everybody's wearing a proper... If you're not in Lupus form, you're wearing a proper jacket. This is before
Say
Canada
hi.
Goose jackets, I think.
Say hi to my stupid dog, Teddy.
Hi, wonderful dog.
Hell yeah.
I can't see your wonderful dog right now because I'm looking at other things. Anyway, Kayla is gonna lie on one of these, like, park benches they have outside where you can sit and eat your lunch during the summers. It's covered in snow, but she has liberated some area there so she can lie on it comfortably and not be lying in the snow, as it were. Some creature comforts are allowed. There's a blanket there as well. And are you all in Lupus form, or are you in different forms?
Let's go into Lupus form. Why not?
All right. So now we're all in Lupus form. I'm very glad you came so quickly, and it's a good thing that Gretchen can connect with you so quickly. We have a task for you here at the Foundation. Not here at the farm, at the ranch. We have, over the years, cured some Garou who were born Lupus, born of the wolf. And we have let them go from the ranch because they don't need further treatment. There's not much more we can do in terms of medication or counseling for them. And we decided to let them go because it was better for them to roam free and build their own self-empowerment exercise where they can feel that they have the power and agency to make their own choices in the wild.
Yeah.
Now,
Jake nods like he understands.
Yeah. Now, I unfortunately picked up some rumors from town from the community around here. There isn't much of a town. This is Wyoming, not New York City. We're out in the wilds now. And apparently, some farmers are planning to hunt down one or more predator that have killed several of their sheep.
Oh. Hopefully that's not good.
I don't think the Lupus pack I'm talking about, they don't have a Garou name because they've never been inducted in the Garou Nation, and I don't think they ever will. In fact, you shouldn't expect, even though they are born Garou, you shouldn't expect them to change. We have given them a medical regimen that will not allow them to change. For their own safety, really, and also for the safety of the Vale, so they don't accidentally...
Got it. Lupus Garou, not members of the nation.
Exactly. And she's gonna tell you in impressions where to find them. This is wolf communication about where to find stuff. So it's not, here's a map, they are over here, this is their territory, this is the territory they've claimed. Rather,
I'm guessing it's a lot of body language plus like pointing.
Yeah, and also smells, like you want to smell the pine cones, the pine trees, smells of the soil. She's going to try to replicate that, smell this, smell that, the particular taste of the water in the creeks over there, and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of directionality that she will be giving you.
Jake, since he's from upstate New York, is definitely happier, and also is definitely happier about finally getting scents that aren't smog, human feces, and more smog.
More smog.
Yeah, it's a nice change of pace. I can't speak for the Glass Walker and the Bone Gnawer, though.
They can speak for themselves, though.
I'm gonna ask Kayla, where have these Lupus been seen?
She just gave you
Eating
the
sheep.
details.
Oh,
No,
she
no.
said exactly.
Yeah, no, she will say, no, I don't think it's them. There might be other wolves around here. It might be kinfolk to the pure heart sept. It might be just other
Or coyotes.
Or coyote, yeah. There could be a range of different wolves that could have done this. And of course, and you can see that she is in distress, very sad, and like her ears and body language and tail between the legs, like the mere thought of hunters going after wolves for whatever reason is just absolutely appalling to her. But the mere thought of hunters going after her former patients who have nothing
even
to
worse.
do with killing sheep is even worse. It's absolutely there are the anxiety. If you've ever seen an anxious wolf, there's going to be you will hear the whining on her nose. Like she is
Okay.
not happy.
We'll go and we'll check it out. Don't worry, Kayla. If it comes to it,
Do you think it might be best to help them, maybe, if it comes down to it, help them relocate? If they
I
so
don't
desire?
know. We can. You
If
can
it
talk
comes
to them, I
down to it.
guess.
All right, then.
If
We'll,
it comes
like,
down to it.
Talk to them.
How far are we from Yellowstone? Here in Wyoming. I don't know America.
Not super far, but far enough for it to be inconvenient.
Okay.
Yeah. We're
Okay,
pretty-
we can maybe try to convince them to go to Yellowstone, and if they're lupus, if they're actual wolves, we can probably dominate them or something. We can boss them into going into more protected lands.
All right, out of character, we're actually pretty decently close to Yellowstone.
Well,
Maybe. Depends on where we are in Wyoming. Are we
I
in
would-
western or eastern Wyoming?
I think you're in western Wyoming, so not too far. Yeah.
Yeah, not too far. Inconvenient distance from
No, wait, it's
Yellow.
eastern Wyoming because you're right next to you're right next to the Black Hills
Nebraska.
and Idaho. So it's
Okay.
in that area. So going north from Valkenburg Foundation, you will get into Black Hills territory.
Huh.
Black Hills National Forest.
Got it. Yeah. I need to just keep a map ready whenever we do these
Excursions
interstate.
into the wild.
Because I know a bit here and there about American geography. Dog, if we ever do a mission in Oklahoma for whatever reason, we're going to win so hard. Going to know exactly where we are.
While I've got my notes open, I went back just to remind myself that I'm not completely insane. And I think the thing I was talking about, the facility that was a blank in the Umbra, was from those children we rescued. The story was that they'd been taken by the police to, I think, to the rehab centre, but then had been referred on to another place underground. And that was the place that was an umbral blank, but they'd escaped from it. And then we rescued them. It helped them escape. So I think that was there if we'd wanted to backtrack and figure out what evil was going on there.
Not right now, because
We're on this mission. We're doing Valkenburg shit.
exactly. But it's a good reminder. Perhaps between the next two stories.
There's just like a short raid or something.
Exactly.
The raid, even.
It's hard to tell where that was because you have to rely on the kids' memory, and let's face it, you don't have access to the kids right now.
Yeah. As we're traveling by foot to the location the wolves are at, I asked the rest of the pack, should we arrive by Lupus form or human form or mixed?
Kayla will tell you before you leave that, because we were a bit sidetracked there. Thanks, Roger. Before you leave, be careful. You should be cautious, because they need to know that you mean them no harm.
Sorry, what? You cut off at the end there.
They need to know that you mean them no harm. Just because they don't need my treatment right now or any medical regime right now doesn't mean that they're not carrying scars.
Yes, we will treat them with kid gloves if we run into any lupus born Garou who aren't in the Garou Nation.
Very good.
And when when Skitters says kid gloves, Jake just cringes a little bit. Or the wolf equivalent. But yeah, anyway, I asked the rest of the group, we should probably all switch to Lupus, yeah?
Okay, let's stick in lupus for now. Let's go and try to investigate these stolen sheep.
So I guess that means Bryce, that means Femis and Weave Walker are also in Lupus form.
They would definitely be, yes. Let me shift them. Let's go. The pack is on the case.
Because if they saw a human with a bunch of wolves, they might assume that
That would
perhaps
be
they're...
weird.
Yeah, that would be
This
weird.
is going to be
And all-
so weird for the Glasswalkers, isn't it?
Yeah. The only two not being weirded out by this experience is Jake and Bryce.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Look at that Lupus form. Storm Speaker, are you going to be in wolf form as well?
Yeah, I'm in Lupus.
Oh, it doesn't change the icon on yours?
I'm not sure if I provided a picture for him. I think I've got pictures for him in all other forms, but I'm not sure about Lupus. Probably not.
We'll have to fix that, won't we?
Yeah, I thought okay, let's go. I guess we'll have to go to where the sheep were stolen and see if we can get a scent.
In Lupus form? They did say they were organizing a hunt. What if they shoot at us?
Then why did we go in the first place? Why did we shift in the first place?
I thought we were heading to the pack first. The loop pack first.
But Kayla said it's probably not them, right?
Yeah,
so
but
if
you're going there to talk to them, to tell them what's
Your
the
job is
situation.
to check in on the pack, the Lupus pack.
See
Not
if they're
to
fine, see if they
track
need help,
down who
you
killed
know.
the sheep.
all right, let's go
Yeah.
and talk to them. So
Like,
I thought
as
it was our job.
At least
to-
that
I
was
thought
the
it
job that
applied.
Kayla gave you. It's up to you if you want to follow Kayla's orders or not.
No, I thought she implied that you wanted us to stop.
No,
No, really-
she's really worried about the whole hunters heading out doing things. That's not cool in her mind, but her priority is definitely her former patients.
Okay.
Not the hunters per se.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
go and
well,
talk to
they
the
could-
pack. So
If you're out in the countryside, you have a sheep farm, sheep get killed. It is what it is.
That can
No.
happen indeed. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm
And-
going to do this. And look, we have a wolf form. I did it for Storm Speaker. Is that working for
Okay.
you?
Yep.
We have 2 white wolves. Reference to original
Rob.
publisher. Done. All right.
2.5.
So, yes. What was that? 2.5. The day
Is it-
is actually not very cold. 52 Fahrenheit is balmy for this time of year.
Oh, so it's not even. Yeah, it's not snowing.
It's
yeah,
it's 10 degrees outside. I thought it would be dead winter, and here I'm just completely wrong.
What is Miguel smoking?
I don't know.
That good grass.
Yes, that one. So it's going to be muddy outside. That's what it's going to be. Though it gets colder during the nights, obviously. That's like freezing and below
Basically,
freezing.
we're trudging around in a miserable cold bog.
Yeah, it's a Chinook warm spell. Do you guys know what a Chinook is?
Chinook. That sounds familiar.
it's a helicopter.
No.
It's not a helicopter.
It is a helicopter
it's
too, but the
also a
weather phenomenon, the climate phenomenon. I lived in Alberta for more than a decade, so I'm very familiar. Basically, in the northern part of the prairies, you get like really cold winters with temperatures just absolutely plummeting, just as you have really warm summers. So down to minus 30 Celsius, it's just brutal cold.
That's yeah.
But
Christ.
that can last for a month, and then over the span of 3 or 4 days, the temperatures go in elevator style up to plus 10 degrees Celsius. 40 degrees change in 2 or 3 days.
That's crazy. That is unironically crazy.
And that is
Also,
because
like-
there's like a body of warm water coming in over, or warm air coming in over the Rocky Mountains from the west. It's called the Chinook wind.
That's actually unironically very cool. Thank you for the education. Also, minus 30 for 1 month, I just die. Yeah, I just die soon.
No doubt.
I
And
just-
Talking about Chinook helicopters, that reminds me of something
No.
funny. That when America was pulling out of Afghanistan, somebody posted online a photograph of the evacuation of the American embassy in Saigon, with a helicopter over the embassy, and another picture of the American embassy in Kabul with a helicopter over the embassy. Point out like how alike they were, and then somebody just posted a reply. They're not the same at all. Those are two different models of Chinook.
There you go.
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, with this weather system coming in, it's basically turning everything to mud. So, yeah, there's snow out there, but it's all melting, puddles everywhere. It gets really annoying the next morning because the water that has melted during the day freezes over. So, next day is bring your skates to work day because the sidewalks will literally be an ice rink. So that's the kind of funny stuff you find on the prairies, which is going to be a bit weird for you New York folks because when you live by the coast, the weather is much more stable. You will not have the 40 degrees shift in 2 days. That just doesn't happen by the coast. So I guess you're coming from New York from typical winter temperatures to why is it so balmy in the prairies when I thought it would be seriously cold here?
Yeah, and Jake's just thinking, what the fuck, man? This is bullshit ass weather.
Just
What the hell is going on?
nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on right now. It's the Weaver is having a funny day. Clearly.
Wild. What the fuck you
No, the
mean?
Wild is having a funny day. Sorry. Weaver. I don't need
Weather
coffee, you do. What was that?
Weaver weather machines confirmed.
So, it's going to take a while for you to get to the stomping grounds of this particular Lupus pack. They being wolves, it's going to be a wide territory. So even when you are in their actual territory, it's gonna be a bit needle in a haystack to find them. You're gonna need to find their tracks in the snow or in the mud. You're gonna need to find some kind of scent to pick up and follow them by.
I believe it's survival you use to track, right?
This is absolutely correct.
So,
Hello, everyone.
I have survival.
I have survival for level 3.
Okay.
So is
So
anyone
this
gonna
is-
help Jake do the survival-y thing?
Yeah.
So that's another die for your friend Skitters. Weave Walker is useless when it comes to survival. And Themis is also useless when it comes to survival. They are going to be big city wolves who are like, what is this weird place where there is no smell of exhaust fumes and no street signs anywhere? Where's the grid? Where's the crossing between 5th Avenue and 126th Street? Can we take a subway in this place?
By the way, so are we doing wits or intelligence?
We can do wits.
All right, in that case,
Or
then
intelligence. Whatever is higher. I'm fine.
I have 6 dice overall without help. How many dice do you have without help, Skitters? Skitters?
I give you 1 dice, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then 7 dice, and nobody else has survivals. Don't fuck it up. Holy shit! All right, nice.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the worst sneaker of these guys. Their worst stealth rating, because clearly the worst sneaker. See what I said there? Sneaker. That was hilariously funny. You have to admit it was hilariously funny, right?
That. Laugh like that.
You had to.
Oh.
There you go. Yes. On the other hand, they can use their wits to be sneaky too, right? So maybe it's a wits sneak as they try to hide from the world. Who has the worst wits sneak? I just realized. I see.
Dog.
Yeah, that's not going to work out very well for them, is it? You're just nailing the scent immediately.
Pine cones, man.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad, isn't it? You are hardly inside the territory, and then you realize that you're inside the territory because you're sniffing the markings that marks their territory, and then you just follow the scent from there. It's this place, for those of you who are more used to the wilderness, which I guess is Skitters and True Strike, more True Strike, because
Yeah, Skitters is more an expert in urban survival, but
yeah.
Meanwhile, Jake, for a lot of his life, lived out in the sticks in like upstate New York. He's actually experienced somewhat in this.
Yeah, that makes sense. This doesn't feel so much like wilderness to you. It feels like someone's home, but a place that knows to keep its secret somehow. You have pines crowding the slopes in tight ranks. Their trunks are straight and dark, the upper branches heavy with old snow that is now sagging because of all the melt. As you're walking around out here, you will constantly hear the flop flop of snow just falling off a branch somewhere because it's so heavy and melty.
When Jake thinks to himself as he treks down this pack with relative ease, he's going to miss this mission once it's over with.
When the shifts, the slow curtains and everything is hushed again, your own footsteps, your breathing, you're not making any type of mist from your mouths because it's just too warm for that. The air is clean enough to sting, like the sharp, it has resin, it has cold stone, the snow is mushy, it splashes under your paws. You will get dirty. It's unmarked in some places where you go. The ground falls away into shallow ravines every once in a while where a creek is, you can see the ice has cracked open, the water is pouring through it, ice flows being pulled with it. There are places where granite shoulders push up through the drifts like buried bones. The light is winter thin, gray and flat in the open, blue and shadowy under the canopy. It's watchful. The trails aren't necessarily obvious to human eyes, but they're there. A gentle depression between trunks, a line of snapped twigs at knee height, a narrow run where snow has been tamped down by repeated passage. You can smell where animals have been. What was that?
Anyway.
You can feel old musk, old blood. You can smell places where they should have been and they aren't because they have been avoiding the place. And every once in a while you see the small signs that mean wolves. A scraped patch of bark where a body has rubbed past, a tuft of pale fur snagged on a thorn, some paw prints. It's quiet in that way that makes you listen harder. And the more you listen, the more you notice how this quiet has a shape of its own. It's gathering around certain thickets. Out here, the forest isn't a backdrop, it's an ally. If you treat it like one. If you don't treat it like one, it might be a witness. Needless to say, unless you are sneaking, all the deer that exist out here will be running away really hard when you get close.
Yeah, we're not here to hunt. We're here to talk, so I can't imagine we do many stealth rolls. At most, we'd probably, like, one or two of us would do a awareness check just to make sure we aren't the ones that get shot by hunters.
That makes
Actually,
sense.
that's the thought. If the hunters aren't Garou aware and are just hunting with regular bullets, not silver, are they any significant threat to us?
not.
It would still suck to get shot.
They are a significant threat to you because if there are many enough of them and they have strong, powerful enough rifles, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Right?
like Garou or not, if you get shot directly in the lungs by a 30-06, it's gonna hurt.
You're gonna feel it. Yeah, it's superficial because you're a Garou, but yeah.
That's still enough to do some serious damage, though.
Yeah.
And if they do a follow-up shot, that sucks even worse. Potentially lethal.
Quite.
So yeah, it'd probably be best if we avoid hunters.
We'll find the 4 wolves, because there's 4 of them, in a small clearing next to a creek. Access to water is never bad. And there is one of them who has red fur. Not surprising. One of them is quite old. She has more gray than brown pelt now, and it's gray because of age. One of them is very large, far larger than average, and not because of muscles, but because of food enjoyment and added extra layers of, shall we say, insulation.
Good for him.
He's a foodie. He's a foodie, this guy. Yeah. He has a bit of a smile on his face, but it's because of a scar that has cleft his lip a little bit. He looks more than a shaggy bear than a Garou, really, with a grey fur, wagging tail. And then there is beautiful young lady, luxurious fur, the same color as leaves in the autumn, strong features on her face, though she has a lot of stains around her mouth of pine sap, and in her fur as well. So that kind of mars her appearance a little bit. How are we going to approach these guys? You're coming here in wolf form, which is maybe not a bad idea. Are we sneaking on them, or are we saying, hi? Or what are we doing?
I guess we're saying
Let's
we're announcing ourselves, I guess, because we're here on a diplomatic mission, so we shouldn't like sneak up on them. We should say, "Hey, we're coming. We need to talk to you guys."
Yeah, so basically, Jake will lead the charge and just say, "Hello."
Lead the charge. I have a feeling that Stormspeaker might be the one to lead the charge, because you have persuasion and charisma up the wazoo, don't you, Stormspeaker?
Stormspeaker can be the one who does the talking the most. It's just Jake likes to be in front, just in case. You never know.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
just
do
a
we
howl.
have something like a howl of recognition so they know we're other werewolves coming?
Yeah, absolutely. So you will howl, Stormspeaker. You do have 4 successes when you're taking half, which is, a lot. And because you're howling in a manner not threatening, more like a greeting howl, a welcoming howl, they will stop with whatever playful activities they were engaging in and look up and perk up. But even as they do this, you can feel free to roll your wits and insight, everybody.
Wits and insight. Boom.
Bada boom.
Not great. I ain't gonna push it. Maybe I will push it. Holy shit. How about the other 2 in a group? Bryce and Miranda.
Let's see. Miranda has all the wits and insight. Maybe she should just take half and get 3 successes. Do you want her to
That
take half
probably-
and get 3 successes?
It's you rolling, so yes, absolutely.
Whereas
Never trust his hand to roll.
Miranda
He
doesn't
won't-
have any insight.
Like, Mikkel, you will grasp defeat from the jaws of victory every time.
Woohoo! It's a skill!
Look at my GM, dog.
Themis will whisper, they are very skittish. We have to be very friendly. Otherwise they'll bolt.
Understandable. Miles.
Yeah, they're standing on guard. They have their whole body language is attentive but worried, and we're gonna run away if you do anything bad.
Yeah, Galliard. Do your Galliard thing.
Yeah.
I think the first thing I'm just going to say is Kayla sent us. Establish that somebody they know.
Pretty dip. Are we taking half here on the roll? Or are we rolling?
What is this? What combination is it?
You can do Charisma Persuasion, which is 4 successes when you take half, which is a lot.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Very well. You know what? That is going to work because you take 4 successes when taking half. So some of them are not going to be super like friendly, let's say. One of them is backing away, the one with the red fur. The old one doesn't move forwards or backwards. The big foodie guy, he is gonna move forwards with a wagging of the tail and a big smile on his face. And the last one, the beautiful young lady, she will come forwards as well. So these two are coming more forwards than the others. Like there's this kind of ranking between them. Like one of them who is staying behind a little bit, and 2 of them who's getting closer. And yeah, they're gonna be like, "Hi there," says the big shaggy fella. "How are you doing out here?"
Pretty good. It's nice to be out.
He's gonna sniff you up correctly here. This is wolf behavior now. We're all sniffing each other properly, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I can't imagine, though, that our side smells as pleasant.
"Oh my, you smell of the city," says, "I'm Snarl."
Nice to meet you. The name's True Strike, and yeah.
Ooh, that's a scary name.
Yeah. A funny story how I got it. Yeah, we all smell the city. We live by there in the human form. Garou.
This lady is she's standing by here, and she's gonna go to the side and start chewing. She's chewing a pine cone, and that's where the sap is coming from. You will notice that you can clearly see that this one is the old one, right?
I guess at like seeing her eat the pine cone, I just think to myself, I've eaten worse.
So you have. And primarily Stormspeaker, right? Yeah, the old wolf, she has horrible scars on both of her front paws. In fact, it's like she has lost all her claws on the front paws. It's like she only has on a human, she would have lost all her fingers.
Ugh. How awful.
And yeah, she's gonna also be aloof here and stay away for the moment. So yeah, you have this guy, and let me introduce you. I'm Snarl. It's because of my face, really. Yeah, it looks like a snarl on his face. It looks like a snarl as he's coming up to you, but you can see that his face is split. There's a scar on the face that splits his upper lip. So one canine is always exposed. I'm Bognor tribe, they tell me, and Ragabash. Yeah, that's what I am. Over there, you have Eats Pine Cones. She doesn't speak much, so I'll speak for her. But she's a great sport once you get to know her. Plus over there, oh yeah, Eats Pine Cones. She's a Philodox, child of Gaia, yeah. And over there you have Clawless, Heartwarden, yeah, Heartwarden, Yard, yeah. She's been through a thing or two. Don't ask about her claws.
Wasn't planning on it, but thanks for the tip.
And Red Fur, yeah. Red Fur is a Red Talon, Theurge, yeah.
Oh, first time I met one. No, second time.
Yeah, we know Red Time.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot he doesn't talk much. He's very easy to forget at times.
The warder of Cairn is very easy to forget, indeed.
Fair.
When he doesn't talk that much, yeah, he is.
Are you our new best friends? You said Kayla sent you?
Yeah.
How's she doing?
Good, I think. We just
Kayla's
came to,
amazing.
warn you of some serious danger in the area. The humans in the area have sheep, and something ate them. Doesn't
Oh,
really matter. Point is, the humans are blaming any wolves in the area for the killing of the sheep. They might come here and try to kill you.
that sounds terrible, they say. Snarl
Yeah.
says. Oh, I don't like the idea of that at all. No,
Yeah.
we haven't killed no sheep. We're out here and there's deer, plenty of prey for us to get our fangs into. Oh, I can't say
So-
that I'm as fast as I was once, he says. He looks almost a little bit like there's a St. Bernard shagginess over this guy.
Look,
Seems like y'all have been pretty successful.
Yeah, we
We're
stay
just-
away from people.
we're just
Good.
concerned that you guys might get hurt.
Yes, we've been into farmland once or twice, but never any people seen, and no humans have ever seen us.
Yeah.
Mm.
You might want
Would
to,
you
in the
go-
future, then avoid that.
Would you guys be willing to move? We could move you to Yellowstone, maybe.
Move? No.
Yeah.
No.
Moving's too much, Skitters. That's a lot.
Moving to what are you moving? That everybody like they all just move away a bit when you say move. They're like that's Themis will just say, "Oh, that scares them." That's
Okay.
anxiety inducing right there, Themis says to you.
Okay. So no moving.
At the very least,
No,
you should
no.
definitely be careful for the next few months.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. We're careful. We're very careful.
I have an idea, True Strike. What if we lay down a false trail for the hunters? True Strike.
Make it
Check
look
these
like
guys.
perhaps like maybe look like it was coyotes or something.
Yeah, or that it goes in a different direction. Like,
Away from the pack.
where are we, Mikhail? Where are we in relation to where the attacks are? Are we like to the north? Right
Yeah,
now, like.
yeah, you are.
So if we make it look like the attacks came from the south, it might help protect these guys.
Basically, what you're suggesting is we head down to the south and make it look like there's things going on in the south rather than the north.
Yeah, like we set down a false trail. Yes.
That sounds good, I guess. Unless anyone else here has any
Appreciate
objection.
that, says Snarl. Appreciate that. Wait, don't. Here, he's gonna move a little bit towards Red Fur, nudge Red Fur a little bit towards you guys, and then he comes back, and then he nudges Clawless a little bit, and then he comes back to you. He's always making sure that they have an exit line, but yeah, he's coming up to you like, oh, be soft. They'll become your friends. And he's moving back to the rest of his own pack. Look, they didn't lunge when I hesitated. They're nice people. They're good people. Kayla sent them. And Snarl will go up to you guys and, hey, why don't you offer each pine cones a pine cone, huh? She'll like that. You'll become best friends. Haha.
Sure. I'll try and find some pine cones.
With your amazing survival check, you'll find some pine cones. And is it gonna be weird, True Strike, that this amazingly beautiful young woman wolf, she-wolf, walks up to you and accepts your pine cone? And then hardly moves away?
I'm gonna be real with you. True Strike has seen weirder hominids.
That's...
He's from New York City, man. This is not anything to him. Sure.
That makes sense.
Whatever. This woman likes pine cones. I've seen horrible things on the subway.
That makes sense. She has no sense of etiquette, shall we say. But she is stunningly beautiful, except for that sap that is all over her fur. So she'll grab that pine cone from you, True Strike, and move away a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you do it, Snarl. That's how you do it. Yeah. How about Red Fur and Clawless, huh? He's gonna look towards Skitters and Storm Speakers, strangely enough.
Yeah, you've done. It's time to do your side quest here.
Exactly. Who are you gonna befriend? True Strike and
I'm
each
gonna
pine cones.
Try
a
to
friend
friend
sale.
the Red Talon.
Ah,
This can only go great.
this can only go great. Let's go. How good are we at befriending things here? True Strike, speaking of befriending, charisma etiquette, do you have any? Not much.
No etiquette, but definitely some riz.
Some Riz.
My best.
Yes, you do have some Riz, don't you?
Hey. Wow. Oh.
I think True Strike is more impressed of eats pine cones than the other way around. Because
Damn
she's
it.
hot, man.
I'm locking in. Never mind. I'm not locked in.
No,
I'm
you're not
geeked out.
locked in at all.
I'm geeked out. I'm not locked in. Fuck. I'm ruined. My reputation is ruined.
Absolutely ruined. Never to be repaired again.
I can never return to New York City.
Charisma etiquette for Skitters. Let's go.
Etiquette?
Or is it survival? Because these guys don't care so much about etiquette, do they? How about
Oh, wait,
charisma
shit. In
survival?
that case-
Then Jake is just, wow. So cool.
All right. And then since I pushed that roll.
Why are you rolling d12s? That's weird.
Wait, oh my god. I don't know why I rolled d12. That was-
But it was cool.
I misclicked it. Let me re-roll that again. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay
all right.
then. It looks you have gained the attention of the hottie. She's gonna go back to a tree. She's not gonna say much, but you know what? She's gonna share her pine cone with you. And
And you
just
know what?
buff it over to you with her nose.
And Jake, since he's that guy, will also eat the offered pine cone and basically say thank you.
There's gonna be two wagging tails. She's not saying anything, she's not doing any, like, wolves don't communicate verbally a whole lot. It's much more body language. But even that is very muted with her. You have her attention, you have a slightly wagging tail, just enough to indicate that she likes you, but not so much as to take initiative. You do have some wits and insight, and it's going to be enough to realize that each pine cones is very shy. Introverted shy.
Yeah, it seems like it, considering they
So-
haven't really said anything at all.
Yeah. Skitters, did you want to try a charisma survival check? Because we never used that combination ever, and it feels like
Is it-
appropriate to use it now.
Charisma survival is such an insane check, and I love it.
Let's be wild with the checks around here.
Fuck yeah, absolutely. He's geeked, not locked in.
Oh, look at that! Skitters, you are going to be more impressive to Redfur than Redfur is for you, apparently. He's a little bit shy. He's watching you with some restraint. How are you approaching him, Skitters? Obviously, you're doing something right.
I'm like not. What's the opposite of sneaking up on someone? Like, I'm just walking up to him like proudly or charismatically, swaggering in his general direction.
Just playing it cool.
Yeah, he'll look at you with some trepidation, but he'll loosen up. Like that skittishness, that readiness to just bolt and run away, it disappears because you are that charismatic. And eventually Redfur will go forwards and do a traditional Wolven greeting. He's gonna sniff you, and you're gonna sniff him, and that's gonna be he's gonna say, "Welcome, honored Garou. I am
Thank you.
Redfur of the Red Talons. I used to be a Red Talon."
Oh, I think joining a tribe is like getting baptized once you're in forever.
Oh, the Red Talons won't have me back now.
Why not? They always like. Have you broken any of their bands?
They think I'm cursed by the moon.
I
have
know a red talent. I
moon
could tell
sickness.
him that you aren't, and maybe he could spread the information.
Oh, I suppose you could try.
Certainly will, because if you're not cursed by the moon, like all we have as Garou, all we have is each other. All we have is the tribes, the auspices, the nation, and I hate to hear of a Garou who used to be a member of a tribe. That means the tribe failed, not you, because they're supposed to support you, not exile you for whatever. So
Redfur will lick the corner of your mouth in submission and then show you his neck, like his throat, expose it to show that he trusts you to not bite him in the neck.
Okay, and I don't. Like, I know Kayla said that you guys had issues with the wolf, and I guess for you it would be issues with the human side of yourselves.
Oh.
But
Redfur is just the tail immediately between the legs.
but remember, you are, even if you never change out of your wolf form, you still are a Garou. You still have your gifts, you still have your brain, you still have your instincts to act and to help us. And to help yourselves. So don't despair, because you can still contribute even if you never leave that form you're in now.
There will even be a slightly wagging tail at this point. Storm Speaker, are you gonna make friends with Clawless?
Yeah, because the Clawless has got scars. Storm Speaker's been shot so many times, he's also got scars. So it's just we've got scars, let's be friends kind of thing. Actually, how many scars, visible scars, does True Strike have?
Many. I'm gonna actually count them right now. I'm gonna look at my sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's a lot of scars. Like, we have... And those scars are like patterns in your fur in Lupus form, where the fur might not have grown back completely, so you can find them and trace them. And it's okay. Yeah. You guys are some serious veteran Garou at this point. I guess the only one who can match that in terms of... She doesn't have as many scars as you do. Absolutely not. But in terms of age and just the brutality of the scars she actually does have is Clawless, who is... quite appropriately named, isn't she? And yeah, she's a heart warden, and she's standing very aloof, and she hasn't accepted you all yet. Storm Speaker, let's go. Charisma survival. Let's see how well you can impress Clawless here, if at all. Wow! 4 successes!
The Rizzler!
The Rizzler! Yeah, I was gonna say, this is gonna be not easy at all, but you rolled every single success, so here we are. What are you saying to her? You're so much younger than her in wolf years.
Just along the lines, I think we've both been in the wars. And I hope I'm still in as good a state as she is when I've been doing this as long as she has.
None of these guys have rank of any sort, renown of any sort. She is looking at you, young one, she says, with that old... We're speaking because we're human players, so we're using language to communicate meaning. But 90% of the communication here is a bunch of body language, ears twitching, noses twitching, hackles raised or lowered, tails doing things, paws. Every once in a while there might be a slight yip or a woof or a but it's not going to be a whole lot of sounds. It's just body language that are expressing what we're saying here.
And if like a guy with a PhD in like zoology like came here, you would be very confused.
Maybe a little bit confused, yeah. She's gonna keep the distance to you, Storm Speaker, even with the 4 successes. She's gonna allow you to lower the distance a little bit, but there's still gonna be a safety range for her, maybe 10 yards or something. And she's gonna lower her eyes. She's not challenging you. Eyes meeting eyes is a challenge, and she's immediately being submissive. She's showing her neck a little bit, and she's not gonna do, like Snarl is doing the dog wants to play thing, right? He's just, let's go, let's play. Clawless, not so much at all. And she'll respond, I'm not warrior at all. I sing songs. I was trapped, and I managed to get out of the trap. That is all, but it was not... I'm not a fighter. I'm not a warrior. I'm not one of Gaia's chosen warriors. I'm just an old lady trying to live out my life in peace. You do me too much honor, young man. Storm Speaker the Wise. You are the one who is standing up for Gaia. I'm just an old lady. And she looks down in shame and her tail between her legs. Yeah, none of these... It feels weird maybe for the Hel Walker Pack. You're used to being... You started your career as Garou as pups, and then you were welcomed by the cairn in Central Park, and you were at like the lowest level because you were the youngest pack. You've worked yourself up, and here you find yourself with 4 Lupus Garou who are all just instantly deferring to you. Like, you are so much higher than them in renown and rank and status in wolf society, and they're all being submissive and showing you respect and deference and submission. And yeah, and of course, Snarl, when introductions are done, he's like, I know a game we can play. It's fun. Scent relay, okay? Yeah. And then he flops down dramatically on the snow like he's a giant rug, and he's nudging one of you to leave a scent on something. And... Are you doing that?
Oh, absolutely, I'm doing it. Hell yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
excellent. He's going to take it in his mouth and trot off a short distance. And the first time he does this, he hides it badly on purpose, like half under the snow, tucked behind a stump. And then he's coming back with the tail wagging and inviting you to find it by scent.
Ah, okay, yeah. I guess it's time for the survival checks.
Yes. This time you're going to find it.
Yeah,
Because he made it
easy
easy for you this time. And
Yeah,
since you're finding it with your survival, you have 3 successes, or haven't you? Like wits and survival.
Yeah.
So you're gonna find it easy, and he's gonna be huffing happily. He's bumping your shoulder. He's gonna do a very gentle muzzle shove and yips a little bit. You can see his tail just wagging like crazy, and he's gonna up the difficulty. And just he wants to play scent relay all day long with you guys now. How about a nice day of playing scent relay with some wolves in the Chinook Wyoming forest. Huh? You could do worse than that.
I know we are taking on a mission, and I want to try to take care of like laying a false trail first, wasting a whole day with.
On Ragged Ash. It wouldn't hurt if we just spent just a little bit of time letting loose.
Snarl's doing the let's go play again things that dogs do. With that, my friends, we're gonna leave the pack in the Wyoming forest for this time. You have made some new friends. You have met... This pack doesn't even have a name. Do you want to give the pack a name? Not that they have deserved one, because they haven't actually done any achievements yet.
Yeah, no, let's... first of all, it's their pack. If they wanted a name, they should name themselves. Second of all, they don't deserve one because, yeah, they've done nothing. They haven't even gone for the rite of passage.
All they've done so far is basically succeeded in not being killed by humans. Which is not bad either, but it's
pretty
not...
much the only thing they're getting in terms of names is the pack north of town, pretty much.
One thing we could do is go, as was suggested before, go to where the farms are and investigate what killed the sheep, although probably in the Umber, so we don't just get shot immediately. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky and it was some servant of the Wyrm that was eating the sheep, so we can take care of a few problems in one go.
And maybe we can investigate it as people. We can pretend to be like...
Yeah, so we don't get shot.
Yeah,
We'll
we
see,
can pretend to be something.
We will...
Next time.
Can I ask a question actually in regards to these guys? I don't know, maybe I misunderstood the lore or whatever, but I always thought that, like, it's to have an auspice, or I can't actually remember whether it's auspice or tribe, but one of them, like, you were inducted to have a tribe meant you had gone through some sort of initiation ritual. You weren't born in a tribe.
5th edition Werewolf, yes. You choose a tribe and you are initiated to the tribe. In earlier editions of the Werewolf, and that's how these stories are written, because it was written in 92, you're born into a tribe.
Yeah, for example, like Jake was always a Get Fenris because he was born into it.
And the Auspice as well. So it's
Technically...
family heritage, extended family.
Technically, Jan would originally be a White Howler / Black Spiral Dancer. Originally.
Me? Personally?
Aesthetics.
I'm not from Scotland.
Yeah, but maybe an ancestor is.
No, that's the other
Heart
direction.
Warden. Yeah, that's exactly. Heart Warden. Anyway, so we will meet this lovely pack again. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. We will go raid Infinite Monkey Tails because they're playing Vaesen, and that's always amazing. And we will see you all in a week from now when nothing goes badly and this Hel Walker Pack is just enjoying themselves immensely in the snow for the rest of the winter.
7 hunters show up.
Who knows?
If hunters show up, we're just destroying them, killing them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. If a hunter makes the unfortunate mistake of trying to fight us right now, they are cooked.